Hello guys and welcome back to my channel today with the budget deck version of gadgets. I mean, I don't think if there's many very expensive versions of the deck, I guess through side deck cards and crazy anti-meta cards, but you already see this is a classic go second variant, because go first this deck does not have many variants that can actually go into. You can splash it, but the gadget engine feels a little bit big to splash it into anything. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about in this deck profile, a lot of card choices I made and other cards that you can play in the deck that would give the deck a little bit of a different spin or make it less competitive, more competitive. There's obviously a lot of stuff to do. First of all, I'm going to talk about the whole boot up engine, which technically you don't really need that much in the deck. You could technically completely cut the whole boot up order gear charge and either just play one or two off the boot up Admiral Destroy, or even cut them completely and play something else. Could go for more disruptive cards, could go for stuff like Tether Wolf if you want to. Tether Wolf, a very good card to go into your Platinum Gadget, for example, because that gets a few things across. But I wanted to make a deck that actually includes the new gadget support, because the new gadget support can be quite neat. It's kind of cool if you had a way to search the Corporal possibly more than just Gigant X, because I think this card actually helps a lot with getting off combos and stuff and going into certain crazy cards, well, crazy cards, but certain more rank 4s and spamming a little bit more, because if you get the whole combo off that you can actually special summon cards with this effect, then it can be quite cool. Quick words to gear charge: annoys me a little bit that the effects aren't switched. I would rather have, if you activate the card, you can discard a card and search for the Destroy Dynamo, and if then you can activate the card again, like, you know, and just special summon the monsters, because then you could wait with this kind of effect and could reuse it and use it at different times and whatsoever, because like that it's annoying. Because technically sometimes you need the Destroy Dynamo to get Gadget into the graveyard, for example. So I feel like the other way around would have helped me more in certain situations, but I guess that's how it is. Double boot up Admiral Destroy Dynamo. A card that you could play in combination with this is Machina Cannon, because it's also level 8, so you could go into rank 8 possibly. But other than that, that card is, I mean, it special summons itself, but there's a massive, very, very big but afterwards. You have to get rid of 2 gadget monsters in your hand or in the grave. I think the thought behind it was, oh yeah, the normal gadgets renew itself, they add each other back to the hand and stuff, so you can't summon them anyway, so you just use the ones that you have in your hand to special summon stuff. But since there's not a new card where it's like, oh yeah, special summon that gadget from the graveyard would be nice, or from wherever it is, so you can actually special summon them without the effects being negated, plus the gadgets all have win effects, which can be super annoying as well. So if you don't want to run double summon, which I felt like was too cloggy and you literally lose so much advantage in your hand when you play stuff like double summon, you could play it, not saying like you shouldn't, but I felt like there were better options. So this card comes in handy. Sometimes sets up for stuff like the boot up Corporal, because well, I mean, being able to use the cards in the graveyard, that's where I wanted to go, is quite nice. But other than that, it's a situational card. You can pop one card in the field, so that's great if you, since it's not a quick effect, go in second. That works with that card as well. Another card that pops a card in the field, Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Very good card for going second deck, especially for budget, since how many reprints did that card already get since it came out? And I think at first already it didn't need a reprint. Now it has like 2 more or whatever. Great. I mean, Pot of Extravagance is still looking pretty expensive to me, but what are you gonna do? Double Cyber Dragon with paired with the probably most expensive card in this whole deck profile, if I'm not mistaken, is Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Sits around $5 to $10, I feel. That's why only one copy. You could technically run 2, because you run 2 Cyber Dragons. What I really like about it is you can get rid of your opponent's monster index or monster zone stuff, like Salmon Grades can help you to disarm the trap card, for example. Could technically help you against stuff like Marinces. Possibly there's potential stuff where it can help you against, plus you still have a machine monster on board then, which makes you possibly be able to go into Platinum Gadget, which can be quite crucial to the strategy as well. So I feel like that is kind of neat. Triple Gold Gadget and Triple Silver Gadget, yeah, you can chain them up and stuff and get a lot of things going. Most of the time your opponent won't really let you do that though. Who would have thought? But in general, having more gadgets in your deck is quite nice, since you can use it for stuff like the Boot of Admiral, since that card searchable only run out 2. Still, there's a lot of things you can do with those cards. Rank 4 engine, obviously, since those cards came out, Gadget were massive rank 4 engine if they weren't already before. Green Gadget, Red Gadget, and Yellow Gadget. Don't have to see much of those cards. You could both play each of them just at 2 if you wanted to, but I tried it, and then you run out of, especially if you're playing Path of Desires, you run out of space or out of refilling material for the cards quite quickly, and it's really a pain if you summon them and you don't even gain anything from it, which that's exactly what they should be doing, at least fill up your hand a tiny bit for stuff. So I feel like running them at 3 really didn't hurt me at all, because I have so many ways to use them for stuff, and at least you can normal summon it technically if you have a boot up Admiral in your hand, or this card to discard stuff and whatsoever. You still have enough resources technically on board. So I feel like if you don't draw a hand with 5 of those gadgets, then you should be fine, which usually never happens. BudgetDecks Knight could play 3 because the second effect comes in handy sometimes. I just chose that card because, well, you go in second, so your opponent will always be controlling more monsters than you. And I think the card has some potential in this deck since it's a machine monster. It's level 4. Technically, I think technically you could play Machine Dupe if you want to play it for the Commando, the Command Dynamo, and Toy Knight. So you technically could, you have 6 targets. Not saying that's good, but could be worse. Still not obviously a great choice, but in the end it helps you making rank 4s, and it's a machine monster, so you could technically go into the link monster as well. And if you happen to draw into both cards, again, special summon another Toy Knight. So not that it's really neat, it's really neat to do so, but you know, it works. Triple boot up Corporal Command Dynamo, because the card is actually neatish, because you probably will have 1 to 2 gadgets in your graveyard, so it's another level 4 that can special summon itself. Technically you can gain really cool stuff out of it if you have this card, 2 gadgets in your graveyard, and boot up order geared in charge. You see, this already takes a lot of setup since neither of the cards are really searchable, and you just hope you get them somehow together, and then you going off like crazy. That's what you do. This is basically what you hope for. So great combo potential, but even if you don't get it, it's still nice. I don't know why this whole equip thing came in, and this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Could at least be also not be targeted, like get something out of this whole equip thing. Didn't, so guess that's what it is. Triple Ash Blossom, obviously play any other hand trap. I feel like Ash Blossom shuts down decks the most effective, obviously, since it has so many reprints. Paying like maximum $5, come on, $15, that's okay. The rest of the deck costs basically nothing, so I felt like that was okay to include. Usually I'm like kind of hesitant, should I play triple? Is that okay enough for people? A lot of people still don't have the card. I still don't have the card, I have to admit. Never bothered buying it so far. Still waiting for that $1 card, like Effect Veiler, like this little guy here, or girl, or, you know, people say different things. People say it's a guy, but I think in some other country versions it's a girl, from how it's said in the title, like how the card name is, and I don't know, maybe people just screwed up there. Path of Desires, a card that you don't have to play if you don't like Path of Desires for whatever reason. If you're like, oh, but if you banish too many gadgets, nonsense, never happened to me. Banishing all gadgets from one color, even then, it's still worth having 2 more cards in the hand, so it literally has not hurt me so far. But if you say, 2 Path of Desires possibly, I can understand that. I have my philosophy of if you want to boost your consistency, play 2 Path of Desires, because if you banish wrong, no, wait, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about this, might make a video about this, but Path of Desires is fine. If you only want to play 2, since you don't want to draw into the next one, then play on Iron Draw possibly. Iron Draw as a card works well in the deck, I guess. Having 2 machine monsters is exactly 2 is not necessarily hard for you, since link monster exists. You can always tweak with those kind of numbers, and then you can only special summon once after, though. That's a little bit problematic. Might use it at the end somewhat, but then you can never do anything with the cards you draw, so technically Triple Path of Desires felt better to me. If you only want to play 2 in general, only play 2. That's also fine. Iron Call, a card that, yeah, could play that Fossil, what is that, what Fossil Dig thing? Not Fossil Dig, Living Fossil is that the equip card that special summons monster, but I felt like since it's not equipped, that's possibly better. Yeah, monster gets destroyed during the end phase, probably going to go into rank 4 anyway, right? So that wasn't too bad. If you can't afford a World Legacy Succession, because that card is kind of expensive. Still didn't really get a reprint, I think. And Yeah, annoying is that the effects are negated. So if there's any other reborn effects would be better because you can trigger the effects of those kind of cards, which is nice. Didn't get that, so I feel like that card is still a good option because apparently you discard stuff and then you can revive stuff. So that's how it works with having those two discards and having this card as a discard to search. I felt like including two Iron Claw is fine. You could include three, but then it gets breaky, and if you draw into two of them and you don't have any other monsters, it's annoying. So I feel like one or two of this card should be fine. One monster reborn triggers all the effects of your monsters when they're special summoned, so great. Obviously, it's a rank 4 deck that goes second. Why not double or nothing? Yeah, problematic with Pot of Desires, but let's be honest here. If you really see a play already without Pot of Desires, just don't resolve the card and go for the OTK. And if it didn't work out, then Pot of Desires then. But other than that, I still think that's fine. Boot up Order Gear Charge. Already talked enough about this card. It's neat. It's not what we wanted, really, or I expected out of the new gadget support. But sometimes it does stuff. You could cut the card technically. Wouldn't hurt the deck too much. There's other ways to play this deck, but I wanted to include it just because of the support's sake. Mega Fleet already is talked about this. Utopia the Lightning, in case stuff gets negated and you want to still summon a card over your Utopia. Utopia plus Utopia double, obviously a good engine to finish games as a rank 4 deck. Time Thief Reader, technically an option to go first, possibly even. Could work out. Gigant X, usually just to extend your combos if you really have like a situation where you need a lot of monsters on board and all you need is that command dynamo because you already have the spell card and you would plus so much off of this. Great card. Other than that, not that great. Tornado Dragon, obviously back row removal is strong. Baguska, also turn 1 play, I guess. Castell as well, removal plus you get 2 cards at once in the graveyard, so you technically could extend your plays, which is kind of important in this deck a little bit since you can make use of it, but only under special circumstances. So yeah, I felt like including it, but I'm going over different options that you have for this card as well. Evil Storm Exeter Knight, you go in second, you easily make rank 4s and don't sit or do much else, so I felt like this card definitely had to be included. Abyss Dweller shuts down decks, somewhat of a go first card then, I guess. Never hurts having it, but obviously don't have to play it. Ball Sword or Ball Load, whatever you can afford or want to run in the deck. Platinum Gadget at 2, don't have to, doesn't come up as much as you think it would. And 1 generic down pointing arrows, could play anything, land for Linkus, whatever you want. The cards that you could also consider, because you can actually get 3 level 4 monsters on board quite easily, I have to say. If you have 3 level 4 monsters in your hand, a lot of the time you might actually make that into 3 level 4 monsters on board. So a Thunder Spark Dragon is a thing, but I feel like Exeter Knight does about the same for the deck, and it's not that crazy. Card that you could play for going first, Giant Hand. I've not seen this card in years, and it's still, I think, not a horribly card. Like, I don't know. I might put that into a Lightsworn deck at one point. I don't know. The Math Mech editor Laplacian, or whatever its name is now in the TCG. I think I don't know yet how expensive this card will be, so I didn't put it over the Castell. But I think with the effects you can do some crazy things, especially going second. This card could be quite nice, and it has no restriction of like Cyber's monsters, or you can only special summon Cyber's monsters or whatever. So I feel like the card would be pretty neat in the deck. Dugaris basically extends your plays, question mark, could happen, but sometimes doesn't. I mean, you can, since you can special summon stuff from your graveyard back, it could be nice getting some effects of the Gadget, so that can be neat. Topologic Bomber Dragon, a card that could help nuke the board, because you're quite potent in in spamming some monsters, and then being able to fight your opponent's board and get in some damage could be nice. Since the rank 4 deck, stuff like Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine would work, since it's not a machine monster. I thought Toy Knight was kind of my choice, but you can obviously splash this card in at 1 as well if you want to, for the extra rank 4 power, plus the power play with Time Thief Reader. That's also a thing. I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. Subscribe for more budget content if you like the stuff deck profiles and you don't like to see replays. I sometimes make replays, so I might make replays of this deck. We'll see. It's always much of a pain to play in Yugioh Pro, honestly, so I'm like not very confident on that one. But for the rest of the time, I hope you have a good day.